a quick look at how students complete tasks in Classroom. Everything we do in science will begin in Google Classroom. That is our anchor place. That is where students will find everything they need. And as it says on the banner, and the thing that we train our students to do right away is head over to the Classwork tab where everything is located. By topic and due date, students have posted for them each of their tasks. Now, when we are live session, we go over each of these assignments, review the instructions, review the assignment from the previous day. But when students are ready to complete a task, they locate the task. So for example, I'm going to pick Plate Motion Engineering Internship Day 1, and I'm going to open that assignment. And when I click on that assignment, there are at least 2 links provided for every assignment. If there are additional files we want for them, they will be added to this. But the first thing that students, besides reading the instructions, should do is take a look at a summary page. So I've created a summary page because we are remote. Students might not be able to make live session, or once live session is over, they might forget some of the highlights that we talked about. So what the overview page does is it gives them a purpose to the lesson. So we review what the purpose of this specific assignment is, what they're supposed to be able to do. Any reminders that we talked about in live session that aren't directly on the instructions page. So for in this case, there's a video they have to watch. And if they were in person, we would all stop and the teacher would play the video up on the screen in front of the class. Well, the video is there for kids to watch, but they need to be reminded to stop there and watch it. So it says between activity 1 and 2, make sure you watch the Welcome to Futura video. And below that, design problem, what is it that they're accomplishing in the unit? In this case, they're making a tsunami warning system. Key vocabulary words. Now, they are never tested on the meanings of vocabulary words. We don't have any vocabulary quizzes. But because these words are key to the lessons, they're used frequently, and this just gives the kids a chance to go back and look at what they mean if they don't already know. And there's also a link to a Quizlet set. If they do decide they want to study them, they can do that. Interns learn. So this is a list of specific skills that they come away with in this lesson. And then a reminder of which parts of the lesson need to be handed in. In Amplify, not every screen gets handed in. At the bottom of the screen, it will say hand in, and students often forget to click that button. And that way, the teacher, me, I can't see what they've accomplished. So this checklist at the bottom reminds them to go back and check, did you turn in this activity screen, in your workspace? Did you submit this document? So it's very helpful to review. Now, the other resource that's there is a web page that we built. Now, early on, students can get confused and say, well, why did you build a web page when Amplify already has a page? And you are correct. Amplify does have a page, and that is where students do their work. But since we are remote, students would normally receive instruction about background information, the purpose of doing the task, other information that's necessary to do the task that's not on the instruction screen in Amplify. Okay, this web page is a surrogate teacher, and so what we've done is we provided a link directly to the Amplify lesson, so students don't have to go into Amplify and figure out what unit we're in and what day and what chapter. If they click on this link, it will take them to a login page and then directly to the lesson we're on. So in this case, if I click on it, it'll take me to day 1 in Amplify. There's also a drive folder, additional files. Let's say we were in class and a student needed a handout to accomplish the task. Well, we can't provide that handout remotely. So what we do is we have it in the drive folder. And inside that drive folder are all the files that they need, in addition to them being in Amplify in the lesson brief section. And we'll show you where to find all that soon. And also, the lessons are broken up into steps or activities. And for each activity, we have both a Google slide and a video of me going over the Google slide. So this is actually where the instructions take place. So before a student begins day 1, they're going to open the daily slides. And the daily slides will take them screen by screen through exactly what we would do in class together. It's also what we review in live session. But again, because we're remote, students would either have to remember everything from live session, or if they're not in live session, this still allows them to continue in the lessons. So screen by screen, we go through the lesson explaining what to do. And many of the screens have notes underneath. Okay. And this also tells the student specifically what action they need to take or what this teacher would be saying, the dialogue in class. Now, for those that benefit more from video, this same slideshow is then recorded by me. Okay. And it is the exact same slides, only narrated. So the kids get the choice of which one they prefer. So I'm going to go ahead and open the Drive folder just to show you what that looks like. Now, these are my actual Drive folders. They are shared publicly. There's also a way for you to access them anytime you want, because this web page here is also embedded in, or is part of a larger website that is public available for you. And I'll show you how to get there. So here's where those files are that I mentioned that kids can use. And I'm going to go ahead and open the Amplify to show you how it redirects them. Once they click login, they can log in with Google or Clever. In this case, we pay for both services. And I am now in the internship day 1. And here are my step-by-step activities. Now, I will say that the T steps are where the teacher steps in and paces class with activities that students don't see on their screens. And referring back to that initial overview page I showed you, the Evernote page, this is where those reminders would be. This is where we would stop and watch a video. So you'll see under the reminders, it says between step 1 and step 2, stop and watch the video. So if we take a look at a student instruction screen, there's not a lot there in terms of instructions. It's very specific to the actions they take. And this is why, again, we needed that additional web page to give them more information than what's just on the screen. If I move to the next activity, you'll see it doesn't give them a lot of the to-do information. And that is also why, again, we need that web page. Okay. And then you'll notice in this case at the bottom, there's a hand in the bottom right-hand corner because the students have to answer a question on this page. And again, going back to that overview page, you will notice on that page it says, day 1, activity 2 is one of the required hand-in steps. So we try to provide for them as many ways as we can, a scaffolding, a network, a support system that they can operate even when they're not online live with the teacher. When they are finished and they go back to Classroom, there is a Mark as Done button. And because I'm the teacher right now, I don't want to open this because it does reveal student names and who's turned in what and who hasn't. So I can't enter there and show you. But when the students open this view assignment in the upper right-hand corner, they can mark it as done. Now, please note that if they mark it as done, it doesn't mean that it's actually done. Classroom is more of a time management tool. If they hit mark as done and it's not done in Amplify, Amplify is where I see their work, and they could technically mark it as done and then still end up with a missing assignment in their grade book. So, it's just there to keep you informed, especially if you're receiving the Guardian summaries. And with that, I think we'll wrap up just kind of the lesson overview. I'll have separate videos on how we accommodate and again, the overview of those public web pages available to you.